so let's get this thing started with the first question we ask every night. And that question is, are you ready, kids? I can't hear you. Well, let's get it started with episode 152 of the Old Caz Trivia Gauntlet.
Hello and welcome to the SOMO Village Community Builders Series. Today we're here at Old Caz in SOMO Village with the General Manager, Rob Saccuzzo. So, Rob, thank you so much for being here today. I'd love to just, before we get into, because you are kind of legendary for your trivia and for all the things that you've done to really build the community here. But before we get into all that, can you just tell us a little about yourself and what even first brought you to Old Caz?
I moved to Rohnert Park to go to Sonoma State in 2005, and I just stayed. So I've been here ever since. I started working at Old Caz in 2020. My first bartending shift was the first night at the old taproom in November of 2020, and things kind of blew up from there to where, now I'm the general manager. Now I'm hosting all sorts of events, trivia, and all that good stuff, and just living life in the Old Caz way.
And Old Caz has grown a lot because it was first was it more of kind of like a parking lot sort of setup? So can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, the old tap room was about a quarter of this side, maybe a third, in a dusty parking lot. We only had like 15 taps. There was only three tables indoors, and like an eighth of the outdoor seating. And, we were just there the other day for an event, and I just kind of sat back and looked around. I was like, how the heck did we execute anything in such a small space? Now here, with this giant space we have here, on most days, and even trivia nights, like it feels too small now. Like it's standing room only. People are like huddling with their team of 6 around a barrel. But back in the day at the old tap room, people would back their truck up to the patio and play trivia in the bed of their truck. I mean, that's just like, it was even as uncomfortable as it was still the place to be. And like now we get to host people in a little bit more friendly confines now.
Well, I'm so glad SOMO Village has been able to host you and create this bigger space. And it's really inspiring also, I'm sure, for anyone who's trying to start a business, knowing you can really build from the ground up. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it takes the work. You got to put in the work. You can't do it halfway.
And so going into your trivia, so this has become quite an event where people actually build their calendars and schedules around it. It's become, like you said, it already feels small here.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about, what has created such a powerful community with the way you do your trivia?
Yeah. Our trivia is different than everybody else's. I call it not your grandmother's trivia night for a reason. We do it in a sense that not many places actually host their own trivia. And when I say that, I mean, it's usually outsourced. I mean, I get it. We're all busy, especially brewers and other places like other breweries and bars and restaurants. I get it. We're all busy. But trivia has always been a really good way for me to connect with our village and our community and our people that love supporting us. So that's why it's always, always, always when I'm making my schedule, I am allocating all the time in the world to make sure that I am putting forth the best episode of trivia I can put forward every Tuesday. And I truly think that that's the buy-in, the people who come, the people who get here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to reserve their table inside, like that is the return on the investment that I'm putting in, right? So they're rewarding us with that loyalty. People plan their vacations around it. Like last year, we had somebody drive back from Palm Springs the day of to make it in time for the championship night. We've had people fly in or change their flights out of town so they can be here for a trivia night. It is, if people are going to be that dedicated at attending, then I'm definitely going to be that dedicated to making sure that I'm putting forth the most entertaining trivia night for them. And, I treat it like an event in the sense that whether somebody's in first place or last place, they are getting as good of and they're glad they're there. They're getting as good of an experience as possible. They're happy they spent their 2.5 hours in this chaotic room full of hooting and hollering and some of my ridicule of crazy answers that get written down. But that's the key. If you make sure that you're invested in the people's experience, the people will come.
And can you walk us through your creative process? Because it sounds like a lot of your questions I've heard are very unique, or the categories and topics, and it sounds like you go to some pretty extensive lengths. So where do you source your inspiration? How do you come up with all of this?
Yeah, I truly like pull it from my own curiosity. So I'll tell a story real quick. Back at the old taproom, we're on tomorrow is episode 151 of the Trivia Gauntlet.
Wow.
I call them episodes because I don't know why, but that's how we keep track of it.
Yeah.
So probably around like episode 60 or 65, back at the old taproom, a guy comes up to me afterwards and he tells me, he goes, "I don't really like to talk about it, but I won a few weeks of Jeopardy a few years ago, and I do trivia in LA, and this was the most fun I've ever had a trivia night in my entire life." And I took that as like the greatest compliment ever. And he goes, "Yeah, what I love about it is that it's not super academic." And I go, "Okay, I mean, I guess that's a compliment." But, and he just goes, "It's fun. You don't have to be the smartest guy in the world. If you're familiar with pop culture, science, we reward all facets of knowledge." Mm-hmm. So, like, the example I use sometimes is like I was driving down the highway once, and I was in the carpool lane, legally, and I didn't know what HOV stands for, like on the signs every 200 feet. So when I got out of my car, I Googled what HOV was, and that turned into a question, right? So tomorrow I'm going to have a couple questions about the Super Bowl, like what color was the Gatorade that got poured on the coach? Like things that I pull it from the things I'm dealing with on a daily basis. I have a Google Doc backlog of amazing thing, like it's 17 pages long of just 4-word prompts that will hopefully lead to a question when I figure out the avenue that the question should be written in. So yeah, I wish I could say I just go to an encyclopedia and put my finger on the topic, but it just comes from different things here and there. It's like, I have to come up with 6 rounds of 6 questions every week. So I'm going to look for inspiration at every step, every place I go,
I think that's a great answer. Yeah, it's so much better than an encyclopedia.
Totally.
And I think that's why people connect, because it's part of your real life, and you're actually constantly just pulling the inspiration.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
The best part about it is that when I'm doing the research to find the right answer most of the time, which then when people try to challenge me, which I welcome, I am not infallible by any means. I can attest to the fact that I've done the research to find that is, in fact, the correct answer. So, that's a little extra thing there.
What question or topic has been the most, like, whether it was like a really wild reaction or like stumped people the most? Is there any like crazy question that stands out?
Let me think. Sometimes I stay up late at night to write the trivia night because I want to get it done the night before, right? So the rumor has it is that the harder the evening of trivia is, people can tell how late I was staying up because I dive deeper into my own things that have my expertise on, So, I love having questions that are like, oh man, what was a good one recently? Like, Purple Mountain's Majesty is officially the longest name of what product? And the answer is, it's the longest name of a Crayola crayon. So that
I wouldn't have known.
From a like amount of characters perspective, like that is one that everybody was sure it was a strain of weed or something. Like, oh, that's definitely marijuana. But it's like, nope, crayons. Go back to the drawing board, literally.
That's great.
But I like, dude, sometimes people just go, hey, that was a good one. And I'm going to use that at the next party I go to. So, yeah, if I can have one of those a night, then I'm in good shape. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
And So, for any other businesses or maybe anyone else who does this kind of community organizing work, do you have any advice on ways to build a community or things that you've picked up or learned along the way?
A lot of people come to us with that question, and it's a big one, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mind giving away the secret that I've tapped into, you know, 5 years ago now when I kind of got the keys to the ship. I truly believe with my entire heart that if you focus on building community, creating relationships, investing your time and effort into the people on the other side of the bar, as far as creating a relationship between a customer who comes in and you, the person who is in charge of creating that experience, that everything will be fine. Just invest in the relationships. People come in, and I know for a fact that their kid is graduating next weekend, or I know they started a new job, or I know they bought a new car. How is it? Is it doing everything you wanted to do? How was your trip? I haven't seen you in a month. How was Fiji? Like that sort of thing. And that's why my team, these guys back here, that they feel the same way. They put in the same effort. They have connections. One of our bartenders just won Best Bartender in Sonoma County.
Oh my gosh, wow.
That is a big deal.
Yeah.
And Jocelyn is like at the top of this, top of the totem pole when it comes to like investing herself in the relationships with all the customers and stuff like that. So I truly believe that when you create connections, when you create relationships, everything else will come. Keep
Absolutely.
giving people reasons to come to Old Caz, keep having events that make people happy, infuse music, infuse culture, all that stuff. It helps that the beer is great. But if you create experiences and relationships, that's everything.
Yeah, and speaking of experiences, for anyone who maybe hasn't been here yet, how do you recommend for someone to get the best first-time experience at Old Caz? Is there a certain time of day of the week, or any time?
If you want, we pride ourselves on the duality of our capabilities, in the sense that we are the place that if you want to get everybody rallied up and singing something together randomly on a Friday night, we will be that place that can get that happen. We've sung "Take Me Home, Country Roads." We've sang "Friends in Low Places" randomly on set just because we wanted to, right? We've come in with trophies that we had won that day. I've stood up on that bar, raised the trophy, and got everybody in here chanting. We can be that crazy, fun, chaotic place. But if you want to have more of a wine club situation where you want to deep dive the difference between Simcoe, Amarillo, and Citra hops, and talk about palates and pairings and why this hop is better than this hop in terms of your own preferences, we are ready and willing and able to have that conversation too. So even if the line is out the door because it's a busy Friday, ask questions, ask for samples. Hopefully we're offering the samples to you so you don't have to feel weird about asking. But we are attuned to make sure that anybody who walks in that door feels like they're welcome, feels like they can ask questions, and feel like they can explore the craft beer world, because there's a lot of anxiety around it. I came up here in 2005 before YouTube even existed. So when I was asking questions to bartenders, they were rolling their eyes and telling me to get to the back of the line, I want to make sure that nobody ever has that experience. People can come, and even if there's a line, ask questions. We're happy to answer them no matter what. And let's figure out what your new favorite beer is going to be.
I love it. That's great. And kind of just wrapping this all up, I'd love to hear, how has this, being a part of Old Caz, creating the trivia, I mean, there was a parade for your entry. There's like big crowds cheering, like you mentioned, chanting. How has this all impacted you on a personal level? How has this changed your life being a part of it?
That's a great question. I'm a softie. So, we have events like our anniversary party. We have events like the Clash of the Cuisines, our food festival that we do. I mean, even on trivia nights, like when there's times when there's, a couple thousand people in the parking lot, and I just got done moving some trash or moving something from here to there, and I just take a second and I look at everybody doing their own thing, and people are dancing over by the music stage. People are high-fiving over here. They're trying a new food item for the first time, and I'm seeing that explosion in their face of like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever had. I take time intentionally to kind of soak it all in, I guess. And that genuinely, like, gives me the feels for sure. Gives me the good. I mean, again, goosebumps right now. I've been thinking about it. But like, it's doing the events is truly a way to give back. People spend their hard-earned money here, with supporting us, giving us a livelihood, giving them reasons to celebrate, and giving them platforms to celebrate and events to come out to. I mean, that's the easy stuff. I will happily work until 2 a.m. planning an event. If people keep showing up, I'll keep doing it because I love it. I love showing them that I am just as invested in this community as they're invested in supporting us.
Well, and it translates. It definitely shows. And as you said, anytime I've been here, everyone is so welcoming. They even know, they're like, oh, we got your salad, or like, oh, don't stay too long, like, we'll have it right out. So it's like, it's so welcoming. It's
great. Yeah,
it's amazing. Thanks so much for watching, and definitely come to Old Caz and say hi to Rob and the team, and we hope to see you here at SOMO Village. Cheers.
Cheers.